Hello and welcome to the second episode of Merseybeats, and I'm here today with Asparagus Now, or two-thirds of Asparagus Now, founder members Ian Riley, who is bassist slash vocalist, and Kyle May, who is vocals slash guitar. And I'll kick straight off with the question, how did you meet and form the band? What made you decide to form the band?
Well, our original bass player, me and him have been friends for a while and been jamming in his shed and back garden because it was fun and it was summer. So we thought, we should probably, try and get a real band going. So we needed a drummer and a singer, and he said he knew some people, which is how he introduced me to Kyle, who he knew.
I was supposed to be the drummer at that stage. I couldn't play drums.
Still can't play.
It's not an issue at that age. Still can't play drums.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, and then what happened, basically I've been playing guitar a few years. Me and him knew of each other, but we didn't really...
we played a few gigs
We never
together.
really got on great, to be honest, at the day, because I just don't think we ever crossed paths much. But he was aware that I was a guitarist and I was a bit more serious than him in many ways. So eventually I said, alright, well I'll join the band, but I'll just play rhythm guitar. I'll leave it's your band, I won't get involved, I will just play a little bit of rhythm guitar. And I'll stay in the background, just for a bit of experience for me, because I've just left another band I've been with for a few years. So that's fair. And now, several years down the line,
4.5 long years.
We're playing like 3-4 gigs a week with me on lead guitar and him on the bass. So, been a lot of changes.
Like, how difficult do you find it with time and money issues to get together and practice?
Practice, you say? We don't really practice. We do a jam night. We used to do it every week. We now do it every other
maybe
week.
the last 3 years, every single week for the last 3 years or so, we've run a jam night. Basically, not like these little pokey acoustic open mics. We have it's a full band setup, and we get bands down, and we get a lot of chance to play usually.
What we've been doing, we've been saying, learn a song at home. We'll do it in this key. And we'll turn up, and we'll see how it goes.
Just see what happens.
We've done some Lady Gaga recently like that. We've done some Supertramp like that, and we go on and we think, is this even going to work? And we go, what's the worst that can happen?
Moving on to, like, as you mentioned, you play around jam nights and stuff, and obviously Liverpool's a really good place for that sort of thing. How do you see your music coming along in the near future? Are you happy to be where you're at playing those sort of nights, or would you like to aim higher?
Yeah, I really like doing the covers. You get a lot more response from people than generally you do with originals, because with original music you go out and you're playing generally to your family and friends who probably don't think your music's actually that good because they've heard it 1,000 times.
There's a really rough situation that's in the original circuit at the moment. Well, the original circuit just being bands wanting to play their own material. There's like this emergence of pay to play, that kind of thing. Pay to play, for your readers who don't know the lingo. I'm not going to say the word lingo because that's pathetic. So
it means you pay the promoter £20. If you bring 10 people and they pay on the door, you get your money back.
Which is wrong, because at the end of the day, even the crappiest bands have spent a long time getting good at what they do. They've bought their instruments, they've learned to play, and they deserve some kind of recognition. But it turns out, if you're in an original band, if you want people to hear your music, the only people who are going to come, the only people who are going to turn up really are your mates and your family. They're going to pay an extortionate price. It's wrong.
It takes a lot of time and a lot of luck to build up a fan base. I mean, for example, take Paul Kappa, for example, plays in town. Quite a bit of local celebrity, but he's been doing it for 25, 30 years. And now he's got a fan base. It doesn't just happen overnight, it takes years, and it's incredibly difficult.
As you touched upon some of the sort of things that you might listen to and like you aspire to be like, and you're obviously really into rock music, but what other sort of styles do you look to, not just listen to, but bring into your own playing?
Everything. Literally everything. I really like hip hop. I've moved on to bass, so hip hop is fantastic for that. Disco, funk, and soul, and stuff that people in rock bands aren't really meant to listen to.
By the laws of the Ten Commandments.
Yeah, the Ten Commandments. If thou play in thou rock band, thou must listen to rock only.
Oh well, I'd agree with you. It's good to have like the wide spectrum.
Oh yeah, well, our drummer Matty listens to he listens to everything. He listens to jazz. Yeah. So he's just he's an incredibly versatile player. I think it gives us I like to think it gives a bit more individuality when you're writing your own stuff, if you're not just sort of going, we like Deep Purple, we want to sound like Deep Purple. Surprisingly, your stuff will then
It also means we'll
like
jam.
Deep Purple.
We'll have a jam and then look at each other and just say, what the fuck was that?
Well, that actually leads into, I was going to ask you, Carl, I know that you're a Lady Gaga fan.
I wouldn't say fan.
Been to see it?
Well,
I've been to see
you've
it
been
because
to
my
see
girlfriend
Lady
likes
Gaga, and what is your view, and to Ian as well, what is your view on the pop music scene in the country at the moment?
Lady Gaga's a really good example for me.
I personally think pop music isn't all that bad. Yes, there's some really, really horrendous rubbish, crap stuff out there, but there's again, if you just look, there is some really good stuff. Like Lady Gaga, I didn't like her at first. I didn't like her at
I
first.
disagree.
I didn't like her at first, and she must say she's grown on me. Her songs are very good, and I've heard a lot of people reinterpret them, which, if a song can sound good...
It's been reinterpreted more than any song I can think of, Bad Romance. Like, to be honest, I was really, really stunned by Lady Gaga's musicianship. On the piano and her vocal, she's got genuine talent, like I've not heard, but she's been kind of squeezed through a mould. If you listen, if you look on YouTube, you can find videos well worth a look of Lady Gaga when she was still Stephanie German, whatever. Some fancy foreign name. If you listen to that, she was a stunning piano player. She had a voice kind of like Christina Aguilera, quite soft, and she used to just sit there and play these soft songs on the grand piano, and absolutely stunning talent. But I think she was picked up by a record company, and I think this whole crazy persona, this Lady Gaga, I think it wasn't. I mean, obviously she's a little bit nuts. Everyone can see that. She's a little bit Gaga.
I think to be successful,
but she's been forced. You've got to get squeezed through the mould.
Ian, we touched upon the fact that you switched from guitar to bass, and how have you found that switch, and which do you prefer to play?
Okay, I go for the finding the switch first. I find it quite difficult initially because bass is a lot more physical than guitar. The first gig we played on the bass, the three of us, I blistered. My fingers exploded on my right hand.
No, there's a problem with switching to bass from guitar, and it's that you decide to be a bit of a hero because you pick up the bass, and as a guitarist, you know what the notes are, you know what kind of. Most people can pick it up and play a basic thing, so you pick it up and you go, oh yeah, this is great, yeah, play a couple of really rocking bass lines, go mad. 5 minutes later, your right hand is like a bloody pulp on the floor, just sort of dangling like that. And that's where being a real bass player and being able to control that.
I think the thing as well, if you're a guitar player, especially a lead guitar player, and then moving to bass, the temptation to overplay is incredible. Yeah. Sometimes you just need to go, right, this just needs 4 notes in this beat, it doesn't need 30.
Do you have any advice for young or old musicians who are trying to get into the scene?
Well, we've got...
Be lucky.
Be lucky's good.
Excellent advice.
We produced a pamphlet called Everything That Asparagus Now Have Ever Done, and basically if you do the opposite, you'll probably turn out quite nicely.
It's quite a short pamphlet.
No, there's a lot of things that I'd suggest. Don't slag off people to their face.
Yeah.
To the face at least.
Don't tolerate crap off a band, right? But the thing for me, don't ever make it a competition. There's a mindset, especially with these pay to play things.
Well, like when we were younger. You know,
music is a competition.
Bands run competition all
every
the time.
occasion you can help another band do so. If they can help you, they should do the same. Work together. You know, you're not all trying to get the same place necessarily, but you know, if there's no harm in helping other bands out and sharing contacts and stuff. That's how you get there.
I totally agree. If you give a little, you get some back.
Basically, get to jam nights, find jam nights, and find open mic and stuff like that, and find a place where you can regularly have a practice in front of people, but without the kind of constraints of a gig, without the tension. Because we started off going to jam nights every week, and we worked up our job every single week. We used to go to other people's full band jam nights. We'd just turn up, play a few tunes, jam with the people who were there. And we started getting quite shit hot. We started thinking this is alright, and then we started hosting a jam night, which was scary as hell.
Oh my god, the first few weeks were...
We've been very successful on the whole. We've done it for 3 years. It's still... For people who are interested, you can find it on Facebook, Rock Jam at the Old Bank. But hopefully people will find our Facebook page anyway. You're supposed to link that, boy.
Oh, exactly.
But yeah, basically come down to jam nights. Not just our, anything you can get to, and...
There are a lot.
Take the opportunity to get some free practice in front of people without it being a gig, you know.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that, guys. Thank you, Ian Riley, And thank you, Kyle May.
He's the monkey boy.
It feels like a little bit like Rosie and Jim or something style ending it. And thank you very much to anyone who's logging on to watch this. I've been Chris Hughes, and I hope you'll join in next time.